I'm here with Odell. Tell me about your involvement in the expo today.
Well, Nick, I'm here to see the expo. I'm here representing a couple entities. California Mortgage Association is one. I'm this year's president, and we're just looking to see. The Mortgage Association has a group of bankers, mortgage bankers, and we provide private funding for people who want to invest in real estate. And most of the members here are investors. Basically what we do is we will provide 60-65% of the capital for the venture. If someone's going to do a flip, we'll provide even a higher percentage of the LTV for the project. And then we provide short-term financing, so it's usually 2 to 3 years. Some of our members will go out even longer. We have some that will even go 20, 30 years and for the term of the loan. But basically it's short-term money. The money's a little higher than you pay at the bank, but the qualifying is a lot easier. And that's what we do there. So that's the California Mortgage Association, and that's our organization.
How did you become the president of the California Mortgage Association?
A lot of hard work. You start working, volunteering. I was been a member for about 14 years, and someone asked me to volunteer, and I gladly would do that because I got so much out of the organization. The California Mortgage Association spends a lot of time lobbying in Sacramento, and we spend a lot of time looking at bills that are about to be passed, and if bills that affect our industry and things that may not be so good for our industry, we try to head off before they actually take place. We do a lot of work behind the scenes. We have 2 lobbyists that work in Sacramento. We also provide educational material and educational classes for people in the industry that want to learn about real estate and how to handle it. We deal with trust deeds, so most of it is around trust deeds and so forth. But all of our members receive education, and then plus we try to protect the industry. So becoming president, that's basically what I do, and then run the organization. And I'm there for a year. If I get elected for a second year, that's great. It'll be a 2-year run, and then we bring in someone else, and it's a continual cycle.
So, what are typically some of the issues that people basically have that makes them need to come use your services?
When you go to a bank, you've got to, especially today, the qualifying is really, really tough. You have to have credit. You have certain FICO scores, the property has to qualify, and even if you have all of that, you probably still won't get the loan. So it's really difficult for people to go through banks, and also the time it takes. It'll take you forever to go through the process, and then you still may not get it. With private lenders, it's quick. We can make a decision very fast. We know we have a lot of experienced members. We know a good deal when we see it. If it's a good deal, you're going to get the money fast. Some people can move within a matter of days or weeks, and the loan is funded. So that's why a lot of people prefer to come to us. One is they can't get the loan from banks. Secondly is they need the speed. They need to have the money and close quickly.
Why is it that private lenders are so quick to lend?
We want to lend on good quality properties, and when we see a good quality property, there's nothing to hold us back. Once we do the appraisal, once we look at the condition of the property, we're obviously going to look at the condition of the borrower too. But once we've seen those things, that's really all that's necessary. The decision's made usually by the broker. The broker doesn't have to go to a loan committee, doesn't check with anybody. Decision can be made right away to fund that loan. So if it's a good deal, we're going to fund it.
So would knowing the president be a good way to fast track a loan?
Absolutely, absolutely. If certainly I have my own firm, MAI Financial Services, but we have many members, and loans that I can't do or other members can't do, we always refer within our family of members, and there's somebody in our organization who will be able to do that loan. Some of our members do very large loans. I know that there are members that can go up to $15 million on a hard money loan, and obviously we do the smaller ones too. So come to CMA, we'll definitely get it funded.
Are there any loans that you've given out where you thought it might have been a long shot, but it turned out to be one of the best investments that your private lenders could have made?
That happens sometimes, but most of the times we have pretty strict guidelines. I mean, we're going to lend somewhere in that 50 to 60 to 65% range. It depends on the deal and the property. We're not going to go way out on the limb further than that, so we're not going to take that kind of a risk. Usually we like to have the investor that have some skin in the game. There are firms out there, probably non-CMA members, who will do a little more risky loans. But remember, the money that we have usually comes from our investors, and so we have to protect our investors too. And so we don't want to take a lot of chances. But however, the thing that we're good for is we're good for speed, like I mentioned, and and credit. If credit's an issue, we probably can look around that.
Do your lenders ever have the opportunity to become maybe a partner or an investor in a property as well, other than just lending their money?
There's some lenders who actually get involved in the equity side, and there's some of our members who actually have equity funds where they'll participate in the equity side. And I think you kind of want to treat that as two different animals. I think if you're the lender, you want to be the lender, okay? Sometimes you want to do a participation loan. Depends on the deal, but I mean, most cases it's the lender. We're the lender, and that's what we do. And if you're an investor as an equity player, then you're participating in the equity. That's a different way to structure it.
So, being here at the at this real estate expo, who is it that you are most looking forward to getting to know or meeting or finding here?
Well, since this is the first time this has been held in California, I really wanted to see how it works, and I wanted to see what kind of vendors were here. And I also wanted to see what the members that it's attracting. And I've met a lot of very interesting people here, and some great investors, and obviously the vendors are some of the same vendors we have at some of our events. But it's been a great experience. Enjoyed it.
So, as president, what kind of advice can you give to any businessman really that's looking to take control of either their own business or just like climb that corporate ladder?
Well, have a good business plan. Make sure you're well financed. Marketing is important, and then of course the good old work ethics. Nothing comes easy. You have to work hard at it. You got to put the time in, and it doesn't come easy. One of the things that, since you mentioned this, one of the things that I've noticed, like in our business, sometimes people think that there's a shortcut to doing it. So they'll take a couple of classes, they'll get into the business, and they'll think that that's it. Now they know it, they can go out and do the business. That literally takes years to learn this business. Just like you can't become a brain surgeon just by going to a weekend seminar. You can't become an investor. You can't become a lender. You got to pay your dues. You got to put in the years to get the experience, and that's what counts.
What are some of the biggest challenges you faced?
I think having a real estate owner who buys a property who really doesn't understand how the system works, who doesn't understand what it takes to get a loan, doesn't understand what it takes to run a property, to maintain a property, all the elements that are involved. So education of the investor, I think, what is happening here, I see, and other organizations, I think is important.
Definitely. Well, Odell, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.